The vehicle you are looking at is the high-mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle known as the Humvee. This vehicle is a 1 1/4 ton 4x4 tactical truck designed for use on all roads as well as cross-country terrain. This program will demonstrate the capability of this truck to operate over the road and cross-country, to include the operation of the winch. You will also be shown the daily preventive maintenance that is conducted before, during, and after the operation of this truck. Before we begin, there are some notes on preventive maintenance checks and services known as PMCS that need to be addressed. Before operation, PMCS must be performed prior to placing the vehicle or its components in operation. During operation, PMCS must be performed while the vehicle, its components, or its systems are in operation. After operation, PMCS are performed upon completion of the mission. Weekly and monthly PMCS will not be discussed in this program, but are listed in your operator's manual. Always use the operator's manual to do your preventive maintenance so that you don't miss any checks. If anything looks wrong and you can't fix it, write it on your DA Form 2404 and report it to your organizational maintenance. When you do your preventive maintenance, take along your operator's manual, the equipment records folder, and the basic issue items referred to as BII. You'll also need a rag for wiping and to check lubricant levels. Starting with the exterior, walk around the vehicle and visually check for damage or evidence of tampering. Look under the vehicle for leaks such as fuel, oil, coolant, or brake fluid. Visually check the tires for underinflation, leaks, cuts, or other damage that would not allow vehicle use. Look at the mirrors to ensure they are serviceable. Lift the hood and ensure the hood prop rod is securely positioned in the hood support bracket. Pull out the oil dipstick and check the oil level. The dipstick should indicate a reading between the full and add 1 quart marks. If necessary, add the required amount of oil. Another under-the-hood check to make is of the cooling system. When the system is cool, check to see that the coolant level is at the cold fill line. If not, add the necessary amount of coolant. This completes the under-the-hood checks. Now carefully lower the hood and secure the latches. Now check the operation of all lights to include headlights, tail lights, turn signals, brake lights, and blackout lights. With the light switch in the stop light position, depress the horn button to ensure the horn is operating. Check to make sure your vehicle has a fire extinguisher, it is charged, and the seal is not broken. The remaining checks will be made from the driver's seat. First, ensure the parking brake is applied, then sit in the driver's seat and adjust it as needed. Also adjust the left and right rear view mirrors so that both mirrors provide a clear view. Then check that the transmission shift lever is in the N position and the transfer case shift lever is in the H position. Lastly, fasten and adjust your seatbelt. To start the vehicle, turn the rotary ignition switch to run and wait until the wait to start lamp, located directly above the switch, goes out. Turn the switch to the start position to engage the starter to crank the engine. After the engine starts, release the switch lever and it will automatically return to the run position. As the engine warms up, check the engine oil pressure, coolant temperature, voltmeter, and fuel gauges for proper readings. Then turn on the windshield wiper control and ensure the wipers operate. Check that the brake warning lamp goes out when the parking brake is released and reapply the parking brake. Shift the transmission and transfer shift levers through all the gear ranges to ensure shift levers operate smoothly. Next, check the brakes to ensure they operate properly. With the parking brake applied, move the transmission range selector to the D position. The vehicle should not move. This is important because this vehicle does not have a park position on the automatic transmission. Then release the parking brake and allow the vehicle to move forward. As the vehicle moves, slowly depress the brake pedal. The pedal should travel about 1 to 1 1/2 inches before the brakes take hold. This is normal. Now reapply the parking brake. That will complete the before operation PMCS. You are now ready to operate your vehicle. Ensure the transmission shift lever is in the N position and the transfer case lever is in the H position. The H position is used when operating on all roads and off-road surfaces where little or no wheel slippage exists. This range is also to be used when encountering sharp, continuous turns on all high-traction surfaces. Now depress the brake pedal and place the transmission range selector in the D position for normal driving conditions. Release the parking brake in the brake pedal and depress the accelerator pedal. Accelerate at a safe, steady speed to get the vehicle moving and to maintain a desired speed as required by changing road or traffic conditions. When driving this vehicle on the road, there are a few tips that must be passed on. First, because of the Humvee's unique shape and low profile, the driver gets the perception that this vehicle is wider than most light trucks. This causes new drivers to run off the right edge of the road. To compensate for this, drive closer to the center line of the roadway. This will prevent you from running off the edge of the road. This vehicle is equipped with four-wheel hydraulic disc brakes, which means it stops much quicker than other light trucks. The automatic transmission on the Humvee has 3 forward driving positions. The D position has already been discussed. The 2 position is for hill climbing and engine braking to assist in slowing the vehicle when descending steep hills. The 1 position is used for maximum engine braking when descending very steep hills, climbing steep hills, or driving through deep snow. While driving this vehicle, there are several during operation checks that must be made. Observe the instrument panel and watch for any unusual readings. The transmission and transfer case must be observed for any strange noises, vibration, or unusual operation of the shift levers. Be alert for any wandering, unusual vibration, pulling, or binding in the steering mechanism. Be especially alert for any brake fading or pulling of the service brakes and sticking or binding of the brake pedal. Pay attention to any unusual noises, smells, or vibrations in the driveline components. Look at the air restriction gauge. If the gauge turns red after being reset, the filter must be cleaned. Lastly, remember the vehicle speed must be reduced consistent with weather and road conditions. Now on to driving the Humvee off-road. Driving off-road or over rough terrain requires good driving sense. Experience is the best teacher, but there are a few good rules you can keep in mind that will help you when driving under these conditions. To shift the transfer lever, this vehicle must be stopped and the transmission placed in the N position. Do not shift into any lower gear than is necessary to maintain headway. First, select the proper transmission and transfer case gear ranges. D position and H range are used for most situations. Use HL or L ranges only when absolutely required by terrain or weather conditions. On steep grades, before you start up the hill, shift the transfer case to L and the transmission to 2 or 1, depending on how steep the grade is. Next, keep your engine operating at a constant moderate speed. Your engine works at its best in the mid-RPM range. Maximum torque is attained at 2,000 RPM. If you get in a tight spot, you can slow down or speed up quickly without changing gears. Use the transmission and transfer case to help control the engine speed. One of the unique features of the Humvee is that it is equipped with torque biasing differentials. You may be familiar with the limited slip or posit traction differentials that are so highly regarded in commercial vehicles. The torque biasing differential is designed along these lines, but does more to supply power to the wheel that needs it most, the one that has traction. For example, when one or more wheels lose traction and begin to spin freely, the differential has applied its torque to the area losing traction, or the one creating the least resistance.